Alright everyone, welcome to this video. It's a type of video where I'm going to be talking about a bunch of things that you as a creator should note when you are making a platformer level. So this video is going to contain a bunch of advices from me to all the creators out there that want to make a featured and a lovely level that people are going to like a lot. And I have a lot of really useful advices, and I have already made a platformer level myself, and you guys really loved it. Also, I want to express that, you guys have been awesome lately. I mean, 35,000 likes. This is literally my most liked level now. Yeah, you guys really enjoyed it. And when I go to the comment section, I see a lot of people loving this level. You can see people saying best platform level, and I really appreciate you guys all. I really appreciate that. And I thought, why not share my own thoughts, because people really like this level. So I thought, why not share the things that I was considering when making this level. So I've seen a lot of levels because lately that are getting a lot of hate comments, especially harder platformer levels. So I think this is a perfect video for this timestamp, and hopefully for the future it can improve a lot of platformer levels as a result. So let's begin by the way, this video is it's not going to be edited. There is no order. I'm just gonna tell you a bunch of advices that you can basically apply onto your level to make it look good. So the first thing that I want you guys to do is to play through the tower one more time. If you haven't already, you have to, and if you have already, do it one more time. And you have to be very careful about every single detail that RobTop uses. So for example, we can take a look at a bunch of examples. So the first thing that you see in the tower is that there are two colors. There's purple and there's also green. And from what it looks like, green kills you. You see how the spikes are green? The lava down there is also green. So now you instantly know green is bad and purple is stuff that you land on. And in here, red and the sort of fiery orange is of course always bad. These are fiery things. So the advice here is to make your level easy to read. I've played a lot of platformer levels that have basically mixed colors, and you can't tell what's killing you and what's not. And I can actually show you a bunch of examples. You guys just saw the tower, and now you see something like this. And I don't really want you guys to throw hate on this level or anything. We're just gonna take this as an example. And also another thing is that the levels are just new, so it's obvious that some of them are not gonna be that great. So we're basically in the beginning of 2.2, so it's okay if there's a bad level that you don't like. Also, I would say that don't throw these hate comments, that's for sure. And yeah, you can see here, for example, you can't really tell what's in the background and what isn't. I mean, if you look closely, you kind of can, but you are if you're going on a speedrun mode, it's a little bit hard. I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm saying, you see, for example, that one, I fell to that, and something like this, you will never see in the tower. If you go to the tower, you will never see something like this, which is why I would say play all of these levels. For example, if we go to, I think this one does also a very good job. This one is when you play a level, you can immediately tell what is the background, what is a block, what is something that the player can interact with. For example, you can see this chain behind me. It's obvious that you don't run into this and collide with it. It's just so obvious where you're supposed to go, and it's also so obvious where you can land, which is very important. It's not as important as where you can die, because spikes are a lot more annoying than just simple blocks because they can kill you. So I would suggest just using 2 or 3 colors to indicate safe things. For example, here the platforms are green and these guys are red on the bottom, or pink. So this way the player knows what the heck is going on and what's killing him and what's not. And also the background is kind of empty, so you can pretty much not get too distracted. So yeah, I see this is one thing that I would advise you guys, is that take a look at the tower levels and see how they do these things, how they separate things that you can collide with versus things that are in the background. You can see this saw blade in here. It's so obvious that you cannot die to it. However, you can see the spikes are white. The color difference is so obvious. This is very important, guys. And I've also done it in my whole dungeon. I just played the tower levels and I took a bunch of inspirations from them. And you can see that my blocks in here are blue, and you can instantly tell what is killing you, what is in the background, and what's blocks that you can interact with. So spikes, red. Obviously, I chose red because that's the easiest thing to know that it's killing you. And yeah, I just decided to really go simple. Also, the background is kind of dark, so you can really tell what's going on. And I think this is the reason why people really like this level. And the second thing that I think this is very obvious now, the first hint or the first advice to you guys. So let's now move on to the second one, and the second one is to use a little bit more checkpoints. I know this may sound a little bit like a, you know, it's very obvious that you should use more checkpoints, but I would say, especially for platformer mode, now that the platformer mode is newly introduced to us, we are very bad at it, and everyone is very bad at it, so we're gonna have to evolve throughout these levels to becoming a better platformer player, I mean. So what you want to do in your level is, I also, okay, this is another thing that I would like, this is like a small hint that I'm gonna show you guys in the editor. This is something that you can do yourself, and it's that you can set checkpoints to be spawn triggered. So what this means is that, you know, if you have a checkpoint in here, you can check it. Of course, we should be in platformer mode, but for example, let's say you have a block in here and you want to put a checkpoint there because it's been some time since you haven't put a checkpoint, and you realize that the checkpoint doesn't really fit in here because for whatever reason. What you can do is you can go to the edit group, add it to a group, and then make this spawn triggered and also enable player position. And then you have one, and then you can spawn one when you are in here on touch, of course, spawn number one on touch. And now let me just add a spike in here and let's see. So there is no checkpoint, and if I die in here, I didn't touch it, so I go back to normal, and now I go like that, and boom, I restart from here. And you can also disable the effects by going into the checkpoint, edit group, extra, no effects, no touch, no glow, no particle. These are like the three things that you should do. And now there should be no effects, no particle, no nothing. So you die and you don't even realize that there is a checkpoint. So that is very, very important. And also another thing for the checkpoint is that you should place the checkpoint placement is very, very important, guys. I've seen a lot of levels where I actually have a good example. This level is it uses checkpoints kind of well, but I do have a bunch of things that I can take from it, so I'm gonna show you guys. So this is a part, look at this. So you get teleported to here. This is like far into the level, you get teleported in here, and there's a checkpoint right on here. And what you should do is come down here like that, and then from here you can go up like this, and then jump up this tower, and then come down. So the problem is that every time you die in here, for example, you have to restart from here, and it's kind of annoying because you gotta like walk this whole thing every single time you die. So why not after you teleport yourself in here, instead of putting the checkpoint in here, just place it in here, because there's nothing that can kill you in here. So there's absolutely no problem to just put a checkpoint in here instead of here. I mean, this is like not really that massive of a thing, but it kind of ruined the experience for me. I mean, this level was really, really fun to play, but this just the small thing would have been a lot better if it was improved. And yeah, the last thing for the checkpoints is that you should obviously place more than you think. And the next thing is I'm gonna take that from my level, because this is like the level that I can rely on the most, the level that I know the most. So you know how this is the level and there's no checkpoints yet, and the first checkpoint I place in here, this is because this is where the level gets harder. This is like instantly right here, boom, you die. So you would have a checkpoint right before the hard parts. If there is a very hard part, place a checkpoint directly before it, not way too off so you have to walk in a bunch of things, just like I showed you guys. No, just place them right before the hard parts. And this is also like a piano mini game type of thing. So yeah, people may not know what to do here and just die. So Rattle Dash was laughing. But yeah, checkpoints right before the choke points. Checkpoints right before the choke points, okay? This is a very cool word or sentence that you can remember when making platformer levels. And the next advice to you guys from me is to make easier levels. Overall, just make easier levels. So right now you can see that most of the platformer levels that are available are kind of harder or insane. You can see like most of them are either yellow, pink, or red, because they're all like these three difficulties. So I would personally suggest making a somewhat easier level. You know, if for example you find your level to be, because this is also a thing, the reason why I'm saying this is because you view the level much easier than it actually is for newer players. What that means is if you're playing your level, you know exactly where the spikes are, you know where the timings are, and you know how to play the level overall. However, this does not go for the new players that just play your level without seeing it, or playing it before. So that means they're gonna have a much harder experience than you do overall. So my suggestion to that is there is two options. Firstly, you can either, when uploading the level, instead of requesting 7, you would request 9. You would just bump up the difficulty by 2 moons, and this way, because you think it's easy, you would just add 2 stars on top of it. So for newer players, that would be somewhat like the same experience, the same difficulty. Or you can do the second thing, which is to make a level. For example, let's say you make a 6 moon level, and then after you finished it all and you realize that it is indeed a 6 moon, what you would do is just go into the level and nerf it, remove a bunch of spikes, make some things easier and stuff like that, and still keep it at 6 moons. Just don't nerf it too much. I'm not saying that, but you guys get the idea. People that don't play your level will have a harder experience than you do, which is I've played a lot of platform levels, and a lot of hate comments are because the moons are not worth playing the level. For example, I played like a 6 moon level, and it just felt like an easy demon rather. So this is why I would say just either nerf it to make it go rather to the normal hard difficulty, or just bump up by 2 stars so that people don't get annoyed. And overall, this is something very, very important. Play throughout the tower. This is something that I do when I have nothing to do. I just go to the tower and just play the levels, and be very careful about how Ruptop uses every single feature, how he places the coins, how the gameplay is functioning, how about the storyline or whatever, how is the decoration, how is he differentiating between the things that kill you and the things that don't, and so on. Just keep playing through them and you will automatically just get better at making levels, because these are the levels that you are viewing that Ruptop wants to see. Ruptop made these levels as an inspiration to us so that we make similar levels, and you should take inspirations from these levels only for now, okay? And yeah, I think this is it for this video. I think it's a little bit different than what I usually do, but let me know guys if you liked it, because I would like to do more. So overall, let me just do a little recap for you guys. The first thing that you want to do is play the tower levels and see how Ruptop differentiates from the spikes, the things that kill you, to the things that don't, to like blocks and things that are in the background that you cannot interact with. Make sure to make like 2 colors, one for spikes and one for blocks, and then just don't mix them up, and then also don't bring them closer to each other. Make them very different and very visible for the player. The second thing is use more checkpoints. If your level has 3 checkpoints, just place 1 or 2 more checkpoints like in between, just so that people don't get mad. And also place checkpoints right before choke points. This is also very important. And also place checkpoints right after the cutscenes. Okay, this is something that I haven't mentioned, but it's quite simple. I've talked about it in my previous video. And the last thing is make your level either easier, either nerf the level a little bit, or request the stars or the moons to be two times higher. Not 2 times, add 2 to them. You guys know what I'm saying. So yeah, and that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to slap that subscribe button, and also I will see you guys in the next